Hey everybody, welcome to RPG Boom's Witching Hour. This is a new thing. I'm gonna try it out, but it's basically follow-ups to videos, potential one-shots, or just me rambling about nonsense about role-playing games. What I wanted to cover today, very short video. I'm not gonna make a time limit for any of these videos. These are just gonna be subject matters at hand, and we'll see how far it goes, depending if there's ever gonna be any chat people on chat, because this is gonna be recorded during the witching hour where we know most supernatural things happen. So I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up to the Monster Ecology video that I recently did. I would say go ahead and please check that out if you haven't. It's a short video, 6 minutes. I try to keep all my videos pretty short. The one thing I wanted to talk about is I'm displaying it right here, which is the map. I didn't really get into the commensal or mutual or prey species in your world. Those are small definitions. I really hate hearing myself talk, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to go and look at those and go ahead and just read them. You can see what the relationships are between the different types of commensal, mutual, or prey. I did want to talk about something that's very important to these different types of species, no matter if it's lions, tigers, and bears, whatever. Um, Typically, you need at least a minimum of 500 to 1,000 of that species for that species to thrive. So when you're thinking about these circles, you have to imagine that whatever species you decide to put in these circles, there has to be a minimum of at least 500 of them surviving, maybe 1,000, and that's just at the minimum to make sure that that species can propagate and basically survive. Um, and of course, in situations like the dwarves versus the elves, there's probably going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them. It kind of depends on your preference for your world. The other thing I wanted to cover was, I mentioned a little bit about where do you want to place your characters or your PCs, your players. And I just wanted to point out, like in a situation where at the very bottom there we have strong port, which in my world I consider the melting pot of my campaign, or at least where a lot of people end up. All the different races come to aggregate there, and it's a big trading city. So I wanted to point out to that city, but let's say you're living in the Dwarven lands and you want to get to the Elven lands. This is where the Ranger from the 2014 becomes very critical. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. How I see the 2014 Ranger is extremely underrated. But if you wanted to get from the Dwarves area to the Elves area, there's only two paths there. There's one going south and there's one going through the mountains, and you would definitely need a Ranger to do that. Um, I don't really have much else to say about this. If you ever get a chance to get on chat or leave me a comment, you guys know I look at the comments. There's only been one instance where it was hard for me to keep up, and I won't respond immediately, but I will periodically check it to see what you guys got to say. And comment back, give some feedback. Actually listen to the your feedback and try to incorporate that into some of the different types of videos that I do in terms of trying to formatting, editing, stuff like that. I am the one man army. I run the whole show. So sometimes it's a little hard to get certain things, but that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to show for Monster Ecology. Um, I guess one point I could make out is about the dinosaurs. Now, dinosaurs are not often used, and the reason that I set it up in this image where there's just dinosaurs sort of touching the continent of Astoria, and then it kind of blurs out somewhere. There's other land there, um, but basically, dinosaurs are an extremely dangerous species and very invasive. And so, therefore, if you're going to have a stable, country or land, you really can't have all these dinosaurs just showing up. Similar to dragons, that's why they're kind of on the outskirts. In order for these civilizations to thrive, these apex predators can't be all mixed up within your species because they'll actually just start eating them. And of course, you can imagine a situation where you have an adventure or some type of short campaign or one shot where, these dragons or dinosaurs are overpopulating and are infringing. And so, therefore, you need heroes to kind of push those monsters back. Um, one final thing I was going to say is these circles within the circles, I did do those on purpose, not just to put names there, but it really just shows you where the population is concentrated. Um, that's pretty much it. That's so you can know that those are where you're definitely going to find them, those inner darker circles, and then the outer circles is where you're likely to find them. Talking about those probable encounters, if you guys recall in that video. Um, I think that's all I got for today in the witching hour. No ghosts, unless you guys saw something behind me that no ghosts were seen today. Only today. Um, that's it. I'm Don Franco 3. This is RPG Boons. Welcome to the witching hour. And like I said, I'm going to use this for one shots, follow ups to various videos. I'm just going to call them bonus boons. And, I'm not a rambler, but if I can find a subject matter or put my input into a recent event in the RPG world, I'll do that. So thank you for checking out my live feed. If you do, come check out my other videos. Take it easy.